Once upon a time, beyond the green hills and hidden under the shade of great trees, there was a mysterious kingdom that no one knew about. This kingdom was called the Kingdom of Waste. But as its name suggests, it was not a dirty or bad place. On the contrary, it was one of the cleanest and most orderly places in nature. It was called the Kingdom of Waste because everyone living there had the task of collecting and recycling waste. The inhabitants of this kingdom carefully sorted their waste. Recyclable items were placed in special bins, and non-recyclable items were burned to make compost. This way, no waste accumulated in the kingdom, and everything was reused. The rulers of the Kingdom of Waste were King Recycle and Queen Nature. Every morning, King Recycle would wake up early, tour his vast kingdom, and check how his people were organizing their waste. Queen Nature, on the other hand, took care of the flowers, trees, and all living creatures, ensuring the kingdom remained green and healthy. The most beloved person in the kingdom was little Prince Propre. Every day, he and his friends would travel through the villages, collect waste, and place it in the recycling bins. His closest companions were a little squirrel named Noisette and a wise owl called Sage. Noisette was a fast and energetic squirrel, always running through the forest to help little Prince Propre collect the waste. Sage, the wisest bird in the kingdom, was the one everyone consulted for advice on recycling. One day, little Prince Propre and his friends traveled to the farthest corner of the kingdom's forest. There, they discovered a huge pile of trash. It was a sight they had never seen before. "Who could have done this?" asked the little prince. "Maybe it came from another kingdom," suggested Noisette. Sage, after carefully observing the situation, added, "These wastes are not from our kingdom. How could so much waste have ended up here?" Little Prince Propre and his friends decided to solve this big problem. They began by collecting all the waste. Noisette quickly ran through the branches, while Sage, flying above, directed where to go. Prince Propre, with recycling bins by his side, carefully gathered the waste with his hands. They worked for hours, but it seemed endless. The three friends returned to their kingdom and explained the situation to King Recycle and Queen Nature. The king and queen held a large meeting, seeking advice from the wisest people in the kingdom on how to solve this issue. At the meeting, Sage the Owl spoke up. "These wastes must have come from another kingdom. Perhaps recycling is unknown there, and they need our help." King Recycle agreed. "If we help them, we can protect both our kingdom and free their kingdom from waste." With this decision, King Recycle, Queen Nature, little Prince Propre, and his friends set off for the distant, unknown kingdom. After a long journey, they reached the borders of another kingdom, known as the Lost Kingdom. This kingdom was a place where people didn't know where to throw their waste. The streets and squares were covered in trash. When little Prince Propre saw the Lost Kingdom, his eyes filled with tears. Trash had spread to the base of the trees and covered every corner of the streets. Taking a deep breath, the prince turned to his friends and said, "This kingdom is truly in trouble. We must help them." Seeing the determination in Prince Propre's eyes, King Recycle nodded. "Let's go talk to the king." King Recycle, Prince Propre, and their friends went to the palace of the Lost Kingdom. When the palace doors opened, a sad and worried king stood before them. With a sorrowful voice, he said, "Welcome. My name is King Perdue. Trash has taken over everywhere, and we don't know where to throw it. We don't know what to do, and we desperately need help." These words moved little Prince Propre and his friends even more. "Don't worry, King Perdue," said Prince Propre. We are here, and together we will solve this problem. Queen Nature explained to King Perdue how to sort waste. She taught him that paper, plastic, glass, and metal should be placed in separate bins. She also showed how food scraps and plant waste could be composted and returned to the soil. Little Prince Propre taught the children of the Lost Kingdom how to collect waste. He gave them large bags and gloves. The children began to walk through the streets, parks, and gardens, carefully picking up the trash. They learned where each piece of waste belonged. Noisette quickly ran around, showing the children which bins to use for each type of waste. For example, she explained that plastic bottles should go in the blue bin and paper in the yellow bin. Sage the Owl watched from above, helping the children with the sorting process. Over time, the children became recycling experts. They knew exactly which bin to use for each type of waste. Trash diminished, recycling bins were placed on every corner, and the kingdom slowly became spotless. This great transformation in the Lost Kingdom became a topic of conversation, not only within the kingdom, but also in neighboring realms. Everyone heard how the Lost Kingdom had been cleaned and how important recycling was. Little Prince Propre and his friends received a beautiful thank you letter from King Perdue, expressing his gratitude and explaining how their kingdom was now clean and organized. When they returned to the Kingdom of Waste, a grand celebration was held. People once again understood the value of nature and learned the importance of correctly sorting and recycling waste. Thanks to this experience, the two kingdoms grew closer and became stronger by supporting one another. Little Prince Propre and his friends continued their mission to protect nature. They worked not just for their own kingdom, but for the entire world, ensuring it remained clean and livable, because they knew that nature and a clean environment were the most valuable treasures, not just for one kingdom, but for the whole world. And so, the tale of the Kingdom of Waste taught children the importance of loving nature, protecting it, and recycling. Everyone learned to take better care of nature, and this lesson was passed down from generation to generation. The end. Please don't forget to subscribe and like our videos.